That'd be a great idea. Did this interview. Shaved my facial hair. I forgot one part.
We're on tour, man. Be serious, be like normal. This is how we are. We look like homeless on tour sometimes.
I know. Always. I look like I got pubic hair on my fucking face.
But if I shave, yeah, I look still 16. If you shave, you look 9, probably.
I look like... Great. I'm Ken. I play drums for Aborted. The way I feel about drumming is that in its basic nature, it's very much just a feeling and an expression of yourself as a person. I grew up in a like musician household, and my dad played metal, so I grew up listening to metal. So, you know, growing up as a kid, I would always hear the drumming and want to reproduce that myself, even though I was only like 4 or 5 or whatever, and really couldn't play anything like that. But I grew more as a musician. I play more instruments as well, but I always come back to drumming, and I can always feel myself in the instrument.
Jesus, you have the same fucking story as I am.
Yeah?
I mean, kinda. Like, I also started to play drums when I was like 13. And I also grew up, like, not with metal, but like Led Zeppelin. Mm-hmm. And my dad was a musician, so... Jesus. What shall I tell now? It's the same fucking story. No, but it's true, I had the same situation, actually, yeah. Hello, guys. I'm Krimh, and I play drums for Septicflesh. First of all, rhythm is in every instrument, kind of, you know. You cannot play guitar without actually having a rhythm. Of course, the melody is there too, but because we're drummers and we play all the time rhythm, I think it just became normal, you know, to just try out other instruments. When I play an instrument like guitar, I don't really think about notes that fit together. It's really just all that comes to my mind. I just try to put it on the guitar. And I just realized that drumming is not enough for me, you know. It's just, I needed another way to express. It's a trend, that's correct. There's a lot of people that record their own music. And I think it's actually a good idea, you know. Why I always only play one instrument, you know. It's just, okay, drums is my main instrument, yes, of course. But I just feel like it's not enough. And now I have the opportunity. Now I can record everything on my own. And I don't have anyone telling me, no, you cannot do that, you cannot do like this. It's like, come on, it's my solo project. I think that's it, you know, especially as a drummer, it's a bit easier. Also, like for the rhythm guitar, for example, we just have a certain extra gift, I would say. We just have to now come up with the melodies, but usually, you know, the technique stuff. Drums is super difficult. We do with every part of the body something different, you know. So I think we have already a better situation, or like a better start in order to learn other instruments.
As far as me, and I've played guitar for as long as I've played drums, so it's just I grew up and I didn't have a drum set, but I had a guitar that I learned on, and I really liked players like Yngwie and
Do you like Yngwie Malmsteen?
I do. So
why is everyone like it?
I thought it was really impressive, and I love melody in music, even though there's hardly any in most of Aborted stuff, at least older. But started learning it, and then I was just thinking that, hey, I'm just going to write my own music for whatever bands I'm playing for, and that way I have more influence in the music as well, and it's easier to find people that I can work with, because I really like being in a band with other people and, you know, everybody contributing rather than just one person laying down a song and being like, here's the song, this is how you're playing it. I don't like that. I like everybody putting in their own part and just making a song together. And because then you get this whole complete different song than you would write yourself. And most of the time it's way better. And another thing is I just enjoy being able to have input writing for Aborted and any band that I play for. It's nice to feel like you're a part of the band in that way, rather than just like, okay, I'm gonna lay in my part and then that's it. Cool, I'm on the album. I didn't really contribute that much to the album other than a few drum parts because everything else was programmed. I've heard so many guitar players program drums, and it is the worst thing
ever.
You're like, you can't play that. That is literally impossible to play. You have 5 hi-hats going on the foot, plus like 12 limbs on your...
Especially the tom fills. Yeah. Like you have a tom roll and there's still some cymbal access inside at the same time. Like, it's impossible. Yeah. Who cares about skills? Like, for example, my guitar playing sucks really bad, in my opinion. I have no idea at all. I just take the instrument and create some riff and put drums over it, and I wouldn't say that I'm a good guitar player. But I think, actually, who gives a fuck how good you are? Just do what you love. I play guitar because I want to do it. I mean, okay, maybe I have I kick my own ass to do things, you know. I don't know if you feel like you have the passion for this or not, but I mean, sure, yeah, drums is, of course, here, drums and guitar here for me too, so. Fire your fucking ass!
Again, I grew up listening to metal. I grew up being in metal bands my whole life. I was always, I have to look metal. I have to have long hair. I have to make these crazy faces. I have to look, I have to be that metal person. And then I realized once I started touring and playing more that it's cool and I will do that, but when I play drums, I want it to sound good. And I don't want to get on stage and I don't want to let the fans hear a complete mess. You know, I hear so many drummers out there that can't play what they play on album. That bugs me more than anything else. I would rather just be up there, be focused, be calm, have my breathing going, and just be good. That's all I care about. I don't care that I don't look like I'm in Dimmu Borgir or something, you know what I mean? Like, and I know I've played shows where I sound like shit compared to when I don't headbang. And it might look cooler, but I don't care, because if I'm not enjoying it, if I'm not having a good time, and I sound like crap, and then it's not worth it for me. Sometimes I'll get into it, and I'll do this, or, you know, whatever, but I'm not going to be like, ah!
But it's good that also we're different, right?
I agree.
See, he's the Ken, and I'm the Krimh, and we're totally different, you know? You play the most comfortable you can right now, or?
Yeah, for sure. Just try to relax like I'm on a sofa and just enjoy it. Just like,
yeah, that's... But this is, for example, what I think it's the beauty about it, that actually every drummer is so different and has a different approach. You know, I'm kind of the guy that likes to push more and more in your direction, but I do this not to please the fans, to please any image. I do it because I feel the way it works the best for me. I just like to feel that I'm working, and I like to, you know, sometimes I'm not headbanging, sometimes I have a bad day, sometimes I might not hit so hard, but it's just, I don't care. I do my stuff as I think it's good. He does his stuff how he thinks is good, and that's what I really like about it, actually. That you can go on a metal show and you have 3 different drummers, and they're not copy-pastes of each other. They have all their own styles, and yeah, variety, man.
Yeah, dude.
Keep going, man.
The thing is with me, like, I totally agree that it is some kind of sports, and I actually do a lot of sports next to it. I was in a sports school for like 8 years, so I kind of just kept going. You know, I have to exercise in order to play that music the way I do it. But what I realized is I play drums now for, I think, 11, 12 years. And now I'm focusing like more about how I play things rather than how fast I can go. Like, you know, I want to listen to what I do, and actually I figured out it's very difficult to bring dynamic into metal drumming because usually it's erased by triggers, it's usually erased by samples, and the fact it's so fast and it wants to be kind of all the time, you know. But there is some space, and I think we both actually are this kind of drummers that look for that little spots of having actually dynamic or groove in it. He plays without click, which is a cool thing because he really can lay back in a beat and you can tell that it's happening, and it makes the whole thing super heavy and nice. I can't, I have to play with samples. But still what you can do is, for example, you have the snare hit, and if you're this 1 millisecond behind it, it also gives the whole thing a weight and a groove. It's about these tiny, tiny differences. And I think you have to first play many years to realize how important it is where you set the snare, you know. Is it a bit before? Is it a bit behind? Is it right on the click, you know? And I think this is the little secret. And this is actually our dynamic and our groove we can do, you know. Because we have a lot of guitars and bass going on, and you know, vocals. How the fuck we should get through all with ghost notes and stuff?
Yeah,
no way.
We couldn't start playing Eric Moore stuff over just like it's like all the time. Be like, what's going on? This is not a shed session.
Exactly. That's the problem with metal music. You have to go through a wall of sound. It wants to be this kind of mechanic sounding thing, you know. And then I hate people saying like, yeah, but metal drummers, they don't play with groove and stuff. I said, yeah, I mean, it's not so easy, man. It's not funk. It's supposed to be fast. It's supposed to be loud. It's supposed to be, you know, a blast beat has to be like, because otherwise, you know, you want that.
If you're gonna play metal and you want that funk groove, you're gonna get Disturbed. You're gonna get Limp Bizkit. You're gonna get a heavy guitar riff with a funky drum beat, and you're gonna have rap lyrics almost. Like I don't know how else you can really get that groovy. Like I would love to just sit back and play Jamiroquai on drums, but
you can't do that. You can't do that simply. Yeah, that's the problem we have as metal drummers, you know. That's what the world doesn't understand sometimes. Our hands are bounded, you know.
Yeah.
We try, and we do, but also, as he said, if we would do that, play like every other cool drummer out there, then it wouldn't be metal anymore. It would sound completely different. And I'm sure the same people will hate on us like, what the fuck is going on? Why it's not so fast? Why it's not so loud? Why it's not so cool? Why it's not metal? That's the reason, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
The thing is when I'm writing drums for a song, it's sometimes completely different from when I'm writing a song on guitar and then putting drums to it. If I have a song that's already written and I have to put drums to it, I'm going to try and change it around, and I'm going to try and make it sound different enough to where it's like, okay, this has some of that typical metal stuff, but I want it to also have things in there that normally wouldn't be there. Otherwise, it's the same shit you always hear, like you're saying. If it's my own song on guitar or whatever that I'm putting drums to, a lot of times I'm more focused on the songwriting aspect, more for vocals. And it goes for any style of music. There are certain beats that are always going to be there. You have pop music, you're always going to have the 1, 2, 3, 4 on every song. You have a blues song, you're going to have probably either the slow shuffle or something like. Every genre has their beats.
You can use all those beats in death metal, you know, all these blast beats and skank beats and whatever they are called, like the ufta beats. It is good that you used them, but I think you have to be really careful where you set the climax in a song. If you play all the time blast beat from the beginning till the end, the intensity will be amazing for like 2 songs. You feel like, wow, this shit is blasting your brain away. After 2 songs, you go sleep because you already started with the highest climax you can do, which is, in my opinion, a blast beat. So when you write a song, I like to have the dynamic, not in the way in drumming wise, but the fact that with drum beats, they're using dynamic in the songwriting. So the riff stays the same, for example, and you just play a groovy beat, halftime or whatever. You don't play any blast beat, and it changes completely the whole atmosphere of the song. And you need that difference between the blast beat and the groovy thing, because then the blast beat afterwards is like, holy shit. And this is how I write my drum beats, for example. That I like to use the ufta ufta beat, I like to use the blast beat, different variations, yeah. But right before that, and it's the cool thing with Septicflesh, that I actually have a lot of freedom, and I think it's very groovy rather than too fast. But when the blast beat comes, it's like this, And I think that's the trick, also in death metal. But I miss in certain bands this change, as you said, like we need a bit the dynamic and everything. So I like Aborted. But also I have to say, it's sometimes in a band there's not only the drummer, there are also other people, and sometimes you have to listen what other people say, and many times a drum beat actually is not made by a drummer, it's made by the person who writes the song, or the guitar player, or the vocalist thinks the classical ufta ufta beat works better here, then we go for that, Sometimes we have to push our ego back and just stick with the community, what they want.
I don't really practice that often, to be honest. I try to rest as much as I can being on tour, and when I get home, I need to relax, I need to rest my body, give it about like 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half. Then I'll get back on the drums and play like maybe 3 times a week for an hour, maybe 2 hours. Before I was touring, it was more or less just a hobby at that point, so it wasn't so much of me practicing rather than just playing songs or that kind of thing. Once I really started trying to perfect playing drums is when I actually cared enough to practice and care rather than just like, whatever, I'll just try and play stuff that sounds cool to my ear rather than do it. But I'm really bad when it comes to practice. I would never tell someone to look at me for practice tips. Like I have warm-ups and I have things that'll allow me to get to that speed or whatever, but when it comes to it, I'm so relaxed and almost lazy when it comes to drumming. But at the same time, I can hear that in my drumming, and I can tell that I'm not a machine, which I enjoy. I don't want to get to that point. I don't want it to sound like I'm quantized. I want it to sound like a human, but also be at a level where it sounds insane for a human standard at that point. When it comes to speed, at least, when I play drums, I'm always grooving. I'm always playing other styles. I rarely practice metal unless it's like I got a tour coming up, and then I'll take about 2 weeks before the tour and really get into that. But besides that, I'm usually just playing either pop or funk or just playing grooves, basic grooves, and then just enjoying that. That's really it is for me.
I realized how I started playing drums was basically playing to my favorite songs, and try to play the same stuff. I was never the kind of guy that sits down, with a metronome and tries just singles, doubles, increase the speed. And actually it stayed till now. It's kind of the same thing. If I have a tour coming up, I play the songs. If I have to do a session thing, I play the songs. I was never really trying also to learn a specific technique. I was always trying to listen to my body more in which direction he's going. A good example is the swivel technique. Many people try or write to me like, how can I learn this technique? I said, like, I have no idea because it came naturally. I also didn't know that it has a name. You know, it started with the right foot, then with the left, blah, blah, blah. But I realized it's really important to observe your body, as you said. Like you have to also have the visual thing going on. Like I like to put a mirror on the side. That helped me a lot when I started to practice. Just to observe what's going on, you know, because your right hand or right leg is always better. And then you put it on the left side of the mirror and you see the difference. That's what I did. There was the small little tricks. I also have the whole setup mic'd, so I listen to a good mix. I can... Because a microphone listens a bit different than your ear. Sometimes you have to push more or less, and it's really good training, you know, in order to for like recordings, and also on stage. The overall thing, you have to realize, you have to listen really to your instrument, and it makes a difference where you hit it, how you hit it, all the small things. It's an acoustic instrument. Whoever played acoustic guitar and electric guitar. Acoustic guitar is here, electric guitar is here, you know, the difference of difficulty, in my opinion. You hear every fucking small mistake, and you're like, oh. It's the same with drums, right? Yeah, I just still kind of stick to the same formula when it comes to practicing, you know. Playing songs helps me the most, because I want to play music, not a speed contest. So.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to just get on there and go, up. But for like an hour long, just doing that.
Yes, exactly. It never worked for me. It was like, why you do that? You will not go to a concert and you make that.
Yeah, I will give up at that point. I mean, if I can't enjoy the song or the music that I'm playing, it's just, it's pointless. I've kind of stuck with how I've always played, more or less. When I was starting out, I guess, I knew that something was weird with my double bass, but I tried to just go as fast as possible, and then I'd have one foot just swinging off to the side, like, what the heck's going on here? And then I saw, like, George Colias or whatever doing the swivel thing, and I'm like, wait, I'm already doing that.
Right?
So, yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna actually try and perfect that and get it good rather than just having one foot do it and the other one hobble along the other, you know, trying to do it. But I kept practicing, trying to put regular heel up strokes in there and then slowly put the swivel as well, connect them into different like grooves and different beats and different warm-ups to where I could switch off from doing each one, no problem. But as far as the finger technique, I'll totally agree. You know, it's all your body's movements, and your body's just it's gonna change naturally when you do different things to it. I've always kind of done the finger technique with my left hand. I just got stronger with it, but my right hand doesn't really do the same thing. I do two different things, and I just want to do what's comfortable for my body rather than forcing myself to do these, like the set thing. I don't want to be to the book or whatever. I just want to have my own thing, whatever feels right for my body, and just kind of go with it. Well, like he was saying with the swivel and telling people, you know, do what feels right. That's been my motto my whole life. I mean, if I'm not doing something correct and I can tell, I'll change it. Otherwise, I'm gonna get good at what I'm doing and then go from there.
Your opinion as well?
Well, it's kind of the same actually, yeah. I mean, I don't play so much finger control actually. I play more out of the wrist. I just felt like this works for me better. But he's right, you know. If a certain technique works for you, doesn't hurt you, don't change it. Because some other dude is doing that on YouTube. You can learn it if you want, if you're bored. But for example, I will never learn double strokes on the kicks. I don't care. I know I could go faster with that for sure than the swivel. But I don't care. The same as with my blast, you know. I'm not going as tempos like he's doing. But I don't need to actually. Maybe in some projects I had to adapt a bit and rather focus on not hitting so hard with the left hand to save energy. But it still is my technique in a way, you know. And many drummers that start to play drums and they're searching for advice, or they're stuck at a certain point, like all of us know. You practice and then it's like, damn it, nothing is happening.
You hit that point.
You hit that point and you search in the internet and you're okay, YouTube, bass drum technique, swivel and ankle motion, heel up, heel down, whatever this whole shit is called. And then you just write to guys like, how can I do that? How can I do that? Thinking that this might be the right thing for you. But swivel is not the answer in the end, you know. There are so many drummers, actually more drummers that don't use it. And that's what people have to realize. Be patient. Don't hurt yourself. Listen to your body. And then it will make this one day. And you know exactly, okay. Oh, and also, because it depends which technique you use about the tempo, you know. Because I'm not playing swivel when I play slow stuff.
Yeah, definitely not.
And that's, no. You use your whole leg. So you have to, as you said, you have to kind of involve things. You have to adapt, like techniques are coming together at a certain point, you know. So, but this all comes with time. So thank you very much for this very, very cool interview, this very different interview. I hope it was interesting for every one of you guys. Thank you, camera guy and Mr. Interviewer. Thank you to my brother Ken. And we will have a good tour, hopefully, the rest of the tour, right?
Yeah. I'm surprised it's almost over. We have another year, maybe, left?
Yeah, just another year left of this super fucking long tour. No, but thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
See ya.
Bye.